We're all feeling the effect of the high grocery prices.
I plan on popping a pill, crying a bit, and falling asleep early.
Recently, I've received a lot of questions on how we can build up our pantries and freezers when prices are going up. The secret is actually in your freezer. When I learned how to stock my freezer and use what's in there, I saw a big change in our grocery budget. Today, I'm gonna share with you some simple freezer tips that'll help you stock up on your essentials, cut your grocery bill, you'll always have a quick meal on the table, and you won't have to worry about the increasing price hikes on your groceries. And I know you can do this. Aprons on, let's go. Your freezer isn't just for stocking up on ice cream. We're gonna start with the two most easiest areas. The first one is with your leftovers. I know, it sounds really obvious, but things get lost in our fridges and we forget about them. And then we wish we didn't forget about them. So if you know you're not gonna get to your leftovers in time, pop them in the freezer. You'll have them for another meal, we won't be wasting food, and it will stretch our grocery dollars. You could freeze mashed potatoes. I did some hearty scoops. I just placed them down on a baking sheet with some parchment paper, stuck them in the freezer for a little while, brought them back out. They popped off the tray very well, put them in the Ziploc bag, and boom, we have portions of mashed potatoes for a quick meal. Don't throw away that leftover rice. You could put it in a freezer safe container or a Ziploc bag. When you go to reheat it, add it to a bowl, add a little bit of water because during the freezing process, it does dry out the cooked rice. In fact, we will double or triple our rice pilaf recipe and put it in the freezer. Yum. For leftover pasta, I like to lay it down on a baking sheet, get it in a freezer. That way they can freeze somewhat individually, so when you go to thaw it out, it's not this big mushy mess. Okay, so now you're freezing leftovers. But what about all that fresh food? Maybe you didn't go through your tomatoes, bananas, or even your avocados fast enough. And then all of a sudden, bam, they're ripe, and then like a day later, they're rotting. So what I like to do is slice them in half, brush them with some lemon or lime juice, cut them up in chunks, lay them down on a baking sheet with some wax paper, freezer paper. Put that in the freezer for a few hours. Then pop them into a container. Then I have them later on for smoothies or to spread on my avocado toast, have with my breakfast, or even to make guacamole later on. And it's going in the freezer. If you have tomatoes out on your counter and they're about to go bad, pop them in the freezer. And yes, you can use them later even though they're gonna be like a frozen baseball. When it's time to use them, I slip them into my slow cooker, all nice and frozen, let them cook all day. I'll end up straining them later, and then I have tomato sauce, which I could use for pizza sauce or just make a yummy tomato soup. Okay, so now you're starting to get the hang of freezing. But here's where things get really interesting. If you don't already, start buying in bulk. There are some things I definitely believe you should buy in bulk, especially if it's an ingredient or food item that your family is always eating. I love buying brie cheese in bulk. It's actually cheaper. So I'll take this round brie, I'll divide it up in equal wedges. I'll put one in the refrigerator and the rest in a Ziploc baggie in the freezer. Later down the road, all I have to do is take out one of those wedges, let it sit out on the tray. It'll get to room temperature and still be creamy and delicious. Also from the bulk stores, I love buying the cheese tortellinis. One, they're cheaper to buy this way. And two, I can take the 48-ounce package and divide them up into 5 9-ounce packages that can go into the freezer for 5 new meals in the future. The biggest area to buy in bulk is with your proteins. They're often the most expensive thing in your cart. You could go out into your stores and see if you can find a good deal, but let me make it a little bit easier for you. Over the years, I have mentioned ButcherBox, and I like to thank them for sponsoring today's video. ButcherBox delivers high quality cuts of 100% grass-fed and grass-finished beef, free-range organic chicken, humanely raised pork, and wild-caught seafood. And it's delivered straight to your doorstep on a convenient subscription schedule. And the cool part is, shipping is always free, and you can cancel at any time. Set your grocery budget. You know how much you're gonna be spending every month on whatever box that you choose. You can have your quality meats delivered monthly, quarterly, however, how often you want it to come to you. But seriously, everything they sent to us, like, thumbs up. New members will receive 4 6-ounce grass-fed and grass-finished top sirloin steaks in every box for a year. That values at $324. Now that's a score. But you need to use my link for this offer. But let me tell you, with their sirloin steaks, they're super tender. They just melt in your mouth. It is so worth it. The quality is amazing. And this is why I love ButcherBox, why I'm always sharing them with you. And if you're watching this video the day that it's posting, you can use my code APRON20 for the next 72 hours to receive $20 off. Now that is how you save on your grocery budget. By now you're catching on how to buy and freeze things in bulk. But what happens when you have all the food and not enough time to cook each night? Well, this is when my favorite tip comes into play. Freezer meals. When life gets crazy, you could just pull out a ready-made meal instead of resorting to takeout.
I'm hungry! In a minute!
Cook in bulk and freeze for easy meals during the week. Make your favorite casseroles, your lasagnas, enchiladas, big ziti. Those all freeze well. If make-ahead meals or freezer meals turned you off, think of it as an emergency meal. Make meals that resemble your favorite takeout. Sometimes we just want a pizza. And yes, that's an emergency meal, because how much does it cost to get pizza at takeout? It's expensive. So make some pre-made pizzas or make some pizza kits. I have videos on this. I'll link them below for you. Sometimes I will just make up individual portions so they kind of look like TV dinners. So when our schedule is bananas and we don't want to thaw out one of the casseroles or the other meals, we'll just take out individual meals when needed. So store those pre-made meals in portion-sized containers for easy reheating. If your family is taco lovers like ours are, make taco meat and freeze that in portions. You're just one step ahead for your taco dinner. Also, did you know that 2 cups of cooked taco meat is actually 1 pound of ground beef? Portion those out and make you and your family some taco kits. You have your meat, your cheese, and your tortillas that you can also freeze up. Have them together in a kit and you're definitely a few steps ahead for dinner. Make more freezer kits like this. Do fajitas. Slice up your peppers and onions. So in your Ziploc bag, add your peppers in, a fajita seasoning mix. For your protein, you can do shrimp, chopped up chicken, or sliced steak. Then you can even add in flour tortillas. They freeze up really well. And there is your fajita kit. Here's some more of my favorite go-to items to have stocked up in the freezer. I have stored butter in my freezer way over a year and it does fine, it tastes great. When I see ground sausage on a good deal, I stock up. I like to cook it up ahead of time, that way I could use it for any recipe. You could freeze your store-bought man, that's hard to say. You can freeze your store-bought shredded cheese, but I don't like to buy shredded cheese. To me, it's cheaper just to buy it in the block form. And you could shred that yourself, sprinkle in a little bit of cornstarch or flour, shake it up with that shredded cheese, pop it in your freezer, and you're good to go. But it is convenient to buy it though. But if you throw the whole bag in when you need it, crunch up the bag a bit, and there you go. But I like to take the block cheeses, I'll third them up, seal them up in my food saver bags, and use them later, especially if I don't have time to shred them. I won't be able to take that thawed cheese and have nice smooth slices. It gets crumbly. Stash your extra veggies, like when you're chopping up for making dinner, your onions, your celery, even some carrots. Put them in a baggie or a container in your freezer and save those later to make a broth or a stock. Stock up on bread when it's on sale or make your own and put them in the freezer. You can freeze them in slices or a whole loaf. What's also great is freezing up sandwiches. We like to do ham and cheese and peanut butter and jelly. Freeze up your baked goods, your muffins, your waffles, your pancakes. Cook those in bulk. I do it all the time and freeze them up and they reheat really easy. Also, I love to get ahead for the holidays and freeze my apple pie filling. I'll freeze the pie filling individually in a pie pan with freezer paper, pop that in the freezer for a little while. Once it gets nice and hard, I wrap it up and toss it in the freezer later for baking. Now that you have your freezer stocked with meals ready to go, there's one more challenge. Keeping track of what's in there. Keep an inventory. You can have a simple list on the freezer door or a digital tracker on your phone. You can even do this in a notebook. Whatever's going in there, write it down. I use my planner. There is a freezer inventory list. I like to use dash marks representing how much of something I have in there. And then when I go take it out and we have it, I put a dash in the opposite way so it makes an X. Then I know that that item is no longer in the freezer. This helps with overbuying. This helps us not forget what's in there and it doesn't just stay there and die. We don't want to waste our money and we don't want to buy duplicates. I technically have 5 freezers, but 4 in use. No, 6. I have our standing tall freezer. I love my upright. Out in the garage, a refrigerator freezer. In our food storage room, I have a full drawer freezer that we got from Costco and another small freezer we got from Sam's Club. And we have our old white fridge that's not in use right now in the garage that has a freezer. And if you're new to this channel and you're like, who is this crazy lady that loves to stock up? Hi, I'm Kimmy, and I would love for you to stick around because I would love to help you build up your pantry as well. This is how we can save in our grocery budget. This is how we beat inflation. If I can do this, you can definitely do this. I do have a video on how to organize a freezer, any size freezer. And this will help make sure no food gets lost or wasted. I'll meet you over there. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.